Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm well myself. My name is Wanyiha Jindut, and if you're new here, so I've been doing this series on the altars that we were fighting, and I welcome you so much into this space. I hope that you find what you're looking for. It just is this season, okay? And God is very keen that a lot of you will hear him and just really hear his heart and what he has for you. And he's using all means and everybody, okay? So the harvest is ripe in the field. The workers are few. So he's sending each and everyone, okay? So it is time. He who has an ear should hear, okay? So I have a video going up at 3, and this is the one I did last week. So today is Sunday, okay? I just came from church, and after breakfast I wanted to share this word with you, but I also wanted to alert you about that video that's going up at 3 o'clock. When I got that word, I found myself adding my own things, that some I had to edit and some I just left. God really wanted me to share this. It is something that he's really pissed off about, yeah? So and it is about older women who are coming after young men, and it is not something they just do because they meet and it's like a really wonderful meetup. No, it is like people are planning against you. And I told you guys in severally I've told you guys that the Lord hates witchcraft, yeah? He commands it that there shall be no witchcraft or necromancy in the house of Jacob. There shall be no divination. None of these things where people go into your spirit and see what you have, what is in your future, and all of that, yeah? And some go ahead and steal, yeah? Now, a lot of times as we were growing up, yeah, and I find that this is mostly where we Africans come from, and all these other third world countries. I think it was just a setup, yeah. It does seem like there's a point that reached that we didn't value marriage as much, yeah. According to our culture, there's so much value placed in marriage and women and all of those good things, children, yeah. And so adapt these new ways. Are they good ways? Yes. Now that we are used to all these ways, we want to emulate and all of that. But these are the very same ways that would have us being lost. Children who are not properly nurtured, and, guided and disciplined to live a certain way would just emulate anything that attracted them, yeah? Now, as this, group is called Broken to Whole, okay? This being broken leads to a lot of revelation. Do you know what that means? When you're not as put together, when you're not as put together, when you're not, just like a very lovely vessel to look at, when you're, when you have some problems, some structural problems, a lot is revealed. Yeah, it seems that we can see the inside of you. Now, picture a person who is not, who does not have boundaries, right? Or like they call them breaks when speaking, and they end up saying the wrong thing. That person is actually leaking information that will shock a lot of people, but also will shed some light into the inside, okay? So every child is a representation of their home. So if they say something, it leads you to understand that this person comes from, maybe some brokenness, or some not very well put together home, or company, or marriage, or something like that, yeah? So when this when this brokenness leads people who God has chosen to see into that building, into that person, when these special people can see through the brokenness, they now get knowledge of which can bring healing or exploitation. Okay, now I will use an example in the Bible when Jesus was teaching and all these people are following him twice. Yeah, he was followed by huge crowds. The first one was like 4,000 people. The second one was like 5,000 people, not including the men and the children. Okay, so it would be huge crowds. Yeah, and this one time that we know a lot about in Matthew, where Jesus fed 5,000 people, he would the disciples would tell him, Jesus, these people have been following us, and it seems they're so hungry, and we don't have anywhere, we can get food to feed them. Should we send them away so that they go home and eat? And Jesus says, isn't there anyone, who has some food that we could share? And they bring this boy, who has 5 fish and 2 loaves, okay? So it is ridiculous. These are thousands of people following Jesus from, different places far off, yeah? And they bring this boy with his meal that the mom packed for him. And Jesus is like, okay, so if this is the food that we have, I'm going to bless it and we are going to share it, okay? Ridiculous. To everybody who is watching, this is beyond ridiculous, okay? So he breaks the bread and thanks the Lord, and he takes the fish and thanks, the Lord, his Father, and lo and behold, all this food multiplies, feeds the over 5,000 people, and 12 baskets are saved from it, okay? Now, I'm saying this to say, before that bread was broken by Jesus, by the right hands, by the right person, by the right eyes, by the right connection, these were just, 5 loaves and 2 fish, okay? Did I say 5 fish and 2 loaves before? Anyway, yeah, so these were 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, okay, that this boy had been packed for by a very good mom somewhere, perhaps, who remained behind, and this boy was insistent, I'm going to see Jesus. So, okay, here are your 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. If if you go, by the time you come back, perhaps you won't be as hungry, okay? Before that bread was broken, it could have just fed that one that one maybe very scrawny boy, okay, who was used to eating this bread and fish. When he broke this bread himself, bread that was not meant for his hands to break, after Jesus broke that bread, it could feed over 5,000 people. So I want to tell you guys, yeah, that God has an intention for you. The journey that you've been leading, or the journey that you've been on, is not by mistake. God is very intentional. He chose you. He called you among your people because he knew what he had put in you, okay? So whether your family is under a curse or under some witchcraft manipulation, just under something that has been, torturing your family for all this time, whatever condition it is, yeah, or perhaps you even come from a very comfortable home, but now you're at a place where you're required now to give something, okay? Something is being demanded of you, because to whom much is given as well, much is expected. And that that works even to whom it seems like you're denied, yeah, but there's just so much in you that God has put through all these things that you're going through, whether it is poverty, whether it is a lot of confusion. To whom much is given, whether it is much poverty, God is planning for you to come into a lot, okay? And with that a lot, because sometimes God allows people to go through so much, poverty, yet it turns out like you're the next billionaire, and with that you're supposed to help so many other people. To whom much is given, much is expected, because whatever situation that you're in, that is what God will use for you to come and be a blesser, okay? So when you're given or when you're chosen for a certain purpose, you will go through the most. You will go through all this rejection, which we said is redirection. It's actually a good thing, okay? You will go through all these places. It seems like an arid land, yeah? And then you will find an oasis. Why will you find that oasis? Because in the first place you left home. Because in the first place you were seeking. Okay, and so you come to this place and you're like, oh my God, I'm thirsty, I need some water. And because you found that oasis, it is an information, okay? You will come to learn so much about the Father providing in places where it is not expected. So in a dry and weary land, God comes through for you. When you find that oasis, you will know that it didn't just happen. Like, there's a God who provides, oasis in the desert, now people who live in the deserts would call that a normal thing. But you, who has never been in a desert, maybe you left home going to a place, and now you find yourself, perhaps you lost your way, you're in this desert, and then you find an oasis. That is not a normal thing for you, okay? So you'll want to tell people, just like the Samaritan woman, she was not affiliated to Jesus in any way, okay? Jesus was a Jew, she was a Samaritan, and Jesus comes and asks this woman for some water, and she's like, look, dude, you're a Jew. I'm a Samaritan. We have nothing to do with each other, okay? And Jesus says, you know what? If you give me that water, I can, if you give me that water, is that what he said? I can give you. I am the living water. I can give you water that if you taste, you will never be thirsty again. So she tasted that water or whatever Jesus gave to her, and she went telling everybody. Okay, that I have seen a man who knew everything about me, that I am a prostitute, or that I have these 5 men, and even the one, I've had 5 men, and even the one I have now is not mine, okay? So he told me the truth about myself, and then he nourished me, okay? So he gave me this very unique thing that I did not know before, and now I am spreading the gospel. So this very unlikely woman, this woman who perhaps was shunned, never used to go to the well with the friends. She would go alone because she was an outcast, okay? She was a husband stealer, okay? She did not fit the mold that was expected in society. This is the same woman who went unashamedly before them to tell them about that living water, okay? So she went telling them, come and see the man who told me the truth about myself. Come and see. So she led all these people to Christ, okay? Because of what? Because this man appeared to her. He could see her brokenness. He could see the light inside of her. Okay? If she were not so broken, maybe Jesus would be like, oh, wow, what a well put together woman. Okay? You must be a blessing to your society. Could you give me some water so I can have some of your well put together water? And maybe she would have given water because she's very disciplined. She's very, cultured, okay? Or maybe she would have said, you're a Jew, I'm a Samaritan woman, what do I have to do with you? Go away from me, you Jew, okay? They would have had nothing to do with each other. But this woman was an outcast, okay? She was so different, okay? She did not fit in. She had this thing where she relied on men to take care of her, okay? So how was Jesus going to talk to her, seeing as she is a prostitute? Do you understand? Why would he, because he is the Son of God. He came to set the captives free. And let me tell you, the whole of this Bible, this scripture is written for those who are lost, for those who are heavy laden with burdens, okay? For those who do not fit the mold, for the called, for the chosen, okay? These people that God knows, these people, no matter what I do, they keep falling. But I'm still going to turn my face towards them and show them mercy because they are mine, okay? I have made them, I have called them, they are mine, okay? So we're talking about the broken bread, yeah? Had that bread not been broken, it would have fed just one little boy. But because it was broken, it ended up serving so many. Okay? So perhaps you're very broken. Perhaps you're thinking, I'm not fit anymore. Okay? I'm not fit. I'm not, I have sinned so much. I have fallen out of God's and man's grace. Nobody can, I can't even tell. I can't even tell what I have done because I'll be shunned even more. But then again, even living with myself, the secret living within me, I cannot stand myself. Neither, not only can I not stand myself, I cannot sleep. Like this thing in my head, cannot sleep in this body. Like all these internal wrangles and war, and you're wondering, is there salvation? Is there a man who can speak over me? Is there a God who has mercies on people like me? Okay, I'm going to read from Isaiah 50, a beautiful word. And I think this is Isaiah talking and explaining this. The sovereign Lord has given me his words of wisdom so that I know how to comfort the weary. Morning by morning he awakens me and opens my understanding to his will. The sovereign Lord has spoken to me and I have listened. I have not rebelled or turned away. I offered my back to those who beat me and my cheeks to those who pulled out my beard. I did not hide my face from mockery or spitting. Because the sovereign Lord helps me, I will not be disgraced. Therefore, I have set my face like a stone. I like the version that says, I have set my face as a flint, determined to do his will. and I know that I will not be put to shame. He who gives me justice is near. Who will dare to bring charges against me now? Where are my accusers? Let them appear. See, the sovereign Lord is on my side. Who will declare me guilty? All my enemies will be destroyed like old clothes that have been eaten by moths. Who among you fears the Lord and obeys his servant? If you're walking in darkness without a ray of light, trust in the Lord and rely on your God. But watch out, you who live in your own light, and warm yourselves by your own fires. This is the reward you will receive from me. You will soon fall down in great torment. Just wanted to tell somebody that no matter how low you have fallen, no matter how badly you think you've done so far, the Lord is speaking to you who is broken. He's going to reveal beautiful things about you. Yeah. Now, when God calls you, there's something that people do not know, and that is why I wanted to touch on the spirit. Yeah. When you know, like how a society runs, but you do different, you find yourself doing different. There's a Kikuyu song that says, Nyedaga weka wega, gekora geka oru, jereno ne dedero. It says, I would wish to do good, but I find myself doing wrong. This way is slippery. Way as in a path, yeah? Place to pass. This way or this path is very slippery, but God, whatever now brings you to that place where you're low, you've fallen out of graces, you've fallen out of the society, the way your society is structured, and you find like you're wrong, whenever we look at you, we are judging like, oh, you're so wrong, you could never be what we expect, yeah? And you find yourself just in that place where you feel, I do not fit in, I'm not a good wife, I'm not a good husband, I'm not a good mother, I'm not a good worker, I'm not even a good person, to be around. Still, God has amazing use for you, okay? And now he wants to show you who you are. He wants to show you the truth about yourself, because nobody that God made, he made without a reason, okay? And a purpose is very intentional. You are actually very special, and he wants to show you that, okay? So that is my message for today. I'm sure I'm going to expound on this because I started far off, yeah, talking about society and stuff. And I think that is what we are going to go into this week, and I have some very, very interesting things that I really want to share with you. So see you as we begin the week. Like I said, the video that goes up at 3 is a bit out of what you would expect, and we are still getting a bit messy. But this is the truth that God wanted you to know. Some of the people that are coming around your spouses, once you discover, you'll not even want to look at your spouse again. Leave alone, just being with them in any type of way. You'll not want to look at them. You will be vexed. It will be very, very confusing that those things could happen. But the devil is doing a lot of crazy things. He has been for a while, yeah. So a lot of perverted things that you cannot even imagine, and you would wonder why. God is going to show you why, but also he wants all this to change, because all this you're not supposed to conform to. His way is the right way, and whenever we fall off, he is merciful to take us back, cleanse us, and set us back on a good path, yeah, where we are guided by him if we agree to it, okay? So I'm going to leave you at this point, and I'll see you on the very next one. God bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and give you peace. Amen. Bye-bye.